All right, chat. We're gonna watch this video here from Lord Frogmere. It's about Nintendo being evil, and with the Pokemon situation, I think we need to see this.
Nintendo has been playing the villain now for a long time, but at this point it's getting comical. Gamers have rightfully criticized EA, Ubisoft, Blizzard, Activision for openly despising their consumer base and actively committing deliberate evil for the sake of profit and growth. But Nintendo, who's gotten a pass for far too long, isn't just up with those companies, it's probably worse. Nintendo is the new EA, and they're better at it than EA ever was, because they have an infinite number of sycophantic fans who will worship anything they do, no matter how anti-consumer, how deliberately malicious any of their actions are. And I do understand why so many people think it's okay, or at least I did, because
That's actually pretty true. Like, we have so much nostalgia for this company that we just haven't cared until recently, huh? Like, honestly, why didn't we get the Super Smash Brothers, like a new Super Smash Bros with the Switch 2 as well? Like,
Nintendo is a video game company, so as long as they make video games, most people don't really care anything else they do. The problem is, Nintendo do not make the games they used to. Their games aren't innovative anymore, they're not cheap anymore, they're not even complete anymore. For a very long time, Nintendo was almost universally beloved. Now, not
what are you talking about, bro? Pokemon is complete. It only needs a $30 DLC for all the megas and $20 for online play.
Not a single piece of news can come out about Nintendo without thousands of people complaining about something, and justifiably so. It really hit me with this last Nintendo Direct that Nintendo isn't just the new EA. They are worse than EA. Nintendo is the Disney of video games now. They were good once upon a time, and now they have a legion of brain-dead fans who will defend them at any cost because they associate their own childhood with a corporate entity that would burn them alive to increase their stock price by a penny. But before we get into it, make sure to like the video, because you know this is going.
Dude, this video is already making me a little depressed because it's so true. It's so true. And it's like, you don't want to believe it, but these guys have become, huh? They became the Disney of video games. It's like, it's worse than EA now.
Going to get brigaded by Nintendo fans who cannot accept that Nintendo is not the same company anymore. And to really drive that home, let's talk about the new Pokemon, which has day one on-disc DLC. Before the game even came out, they announced $30 DLC. Genuinely, how tone deaf can a company be? They're already in trouble. People are already upset about the Pokemon Power. Now, they announced $30 DLC. Genuinely, how tone deaf can a company be? They're already in trouble. People are already upset about the Pokemon Power lawsuit. And really, it's not even the lawsuit that's upsetting people. It's their aggressive path.
You know, honestly, I really like these megas. Like, I've been shitting on a lot of the megas here in all our Pokemon videos we've been doing, but I actually like these megas. It's unfortunate they have them locked behind a DLC.
Patenting, that they're using the patent office, which is supposed to be about a scientist or an engineer being able to make money on their inventions. Now it's being used to hoard game mechanics that they did not invent and do not own, but have the money to defend so that they can destroy any competition. Right before their big announcement for the new Pokemon game, they patent the idea of using monsters to fight other monsters. An idea they do not own. They did not invent it. Shin Megami Tensei came out well before Pokemon did. If we lived in a just world, the Shin Megami Tensei devs would patent the idea of monster catching in general and sue Pokemon into the ground. But they will never do that because they wouldn't win. These are not defendable patents. They're being used as a weapon to drown the enemy.
And like we said in our other video, it doesn't matter if you have a justifiable reason to sue somebody. You could just continue the lawsuit, even if it's BS. You could just continue it and continue it and continue it until you make them go bankrupt. And that's why he's saying they can't go against Pokemon. Even if they have the right case, like let's say in the just world they would win, in the reality they won't, because Nintendo would just keep drawing out the case and case and case until they bleed them dry.
In legal costs to force them to just give up. And I get that the system is broken. The patent shouldn't have been awarded in the first place. And I know they say, don't hate the player, hate the game. But I am perfectly capable of hating both. This is blatantly evil. It is suppressing competition and will end up with less interesting games and worse games. Do you really want to live in a world where developers are afraid of using any game mechanics that even tangentially relate to something that's been in a Nintendo game? Could you imagine if Dark Souls got sued for being too similar to Zelda? Like, oops, you used lock-on targeting and that's in Zelda games. Now From Software gets sued into the ground. No more Elden Ring, no more Sekiro, no more Dark Souls 3. So on the back of this, of Nintendo saying only we can make Pokemon games or anything even slightly similar to Pokemon, here's our new Pokemon game. And it's not even complete. It's not complete on release. You have to pay $70 for the full game, then $30 for the DLC, and then another $20 for Nintendo.
Man, for all the shills out there saying Pokemon is really good, it's really good, you guys are just haters. Like, just look at how many people are just so upset, man. And it's just not YouTubers. It's literally everywhere. You go to a Pokemon post right now and go to the comments, they're flooded with hate. Like, I don't care about the money. Everybody knows Pokemon's going to make money. We just posted that video right now before this one that Pokemon is down 40%. If you guys want to watch that one on sales, like, it's not going well.
Nintendo Online. Yeah, didn't see that one, did ya? Because in the Nintendo Direct, they don't make that very clear. But in the newest trailer for the new Pokemon game, whose main selling point is a new Mega Pokemon, they showcase 5 new Megas, none of which are available to you if all you buy is the main game. The 2 new Raichu Megas, those require the DLC. That's $30 on top of the $70 you pay for the main game. Then the 3 new starter megas are unlocked through the ranked mode. They are ranked season rewards. So in order to get those, you have to pay another $20 for Nintendo Online. And they are not obtainable in any other way, meaning they're also limited time. All 3 are end of season ranked rewards, and we have no idea how long a season is. If it's long enough, you might have to pay for Nintendo Online for multiple years. So it could be even more than $20, maybe $40 for all the megas that are already in the game. And God forbid.
You could get that ugly Dragonite though, right? At release. For everybody who's been playing the game, you could get that ugly Dragonite, right?
You just don't like ranked mode. You know, Pokemon, a baby game. Sorry, little Timmy, your favorite mega for your favorite starter that you think is really cool, you just can't have it because you have to face against the 30-year-old virgin sweat lord whose soul is filled with plastic. Remember when Pokemon games were $30, $40 for what I believe to be the best the series ever had to offer? Now, for one Pokemon game, you need $70 for the main game, $30 for the DLC, and then another $20 for online.
We've been crying about that price tag for, what, 3 weeks now? 2 weeks now since it's been released?
Just to get content that's already in the game, that has been cut out for you to pay for later. So that's $120 Pokemon game. Remember when Nintendo games were cheap? And that's the low estimate. Maybe it's 130, maybe even 150. And that's only what we know before the game has even been released. Who knows? They might have cut out 10, 20 new Mega Evolutions just to feed to you later. A slow drip of deliberately cut content just to keep you paying. This is something that was so universally hated that even EA gave up on it. Nintendo is objectively a more anti-consumer company than EA. Could you imagine saying?
Which is just so sad to say out loud. Like, honestly, that is like the worst thing. Like, everybody knows how gross EA is, and it's like, it's so true, dude. It's so true. Pokemon, Nintendo, Game Freak. Well, I'm trying not to hate on Game Freak as much because after that last video we did, Game Freak is kind of locked in with a lot of Nintendo's rules. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But man, Nintendo is just so shitty.
That 15 years ago. And that's just Pokemon we're talking about. The rest of the Direct didn't have much better to show. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I liked it. It was fun, but it's been 2 months and we already have DLC. But surely it's something unique, a new spin on the formula. No, it's another roguelike mode. And it's not even a...
See, I'm shocked that they came out with that as their like main game when they first came out the Switch too. It's like, it was, a lot of people played it, a lot of people had fun with it, but like, really, that's going to be your main number, like your draw to it? Where's Smash? Like open up with Smash Bros, dude. Like that would have been freaking hot. Like I maybe would have bought a Switch 2 if it had Smash Bros. Like maybe.
A good one. They put no effort into this. It's a roguelike mode where the thing you're collecting and the map you're playing on isn't randomized. Have they even played a roguelike before? Maybe someone should patent that and sue them. Stop them from making these blatant cash grabs. Roguelike modes are great for getting a lot of playtime out of a little bit of content, but they put zero effort into it. You're just going to be doing the exact same run every single time, the exact same optimal path, because nothing is randomized. I know there has to be at least a couple developers who still care at Nintendo, but the higher ups are like, no, you have to make DLC and you have a month to do it. So you either cut it out of the main game or you make some worthless crap that is blatantly low effort.
Remember when DLC, if you're old gamer, remember when DLCs first started popping out and stuff and we're like, dude, like, no, it's not a good thing. And people would be like, no, it's more content. It's more content. And we're like, no, it's not good. It's not good. They're going to make it so all you have to do is buy DLCs one day. It's just they're just want more money and stuff. Now we're at this point where it's like, dude, they don't even finish the game. And it's just DLCs.
Speaking of low effort, the Switch 1 had its library artificially inflated by Wii U games re-released on the Switch. This worked and people were okay with it because nobody bought a Wii U, so they felt like new games. Plus, the games got some improvements. They ran a little better, looked a little better. It was a pretty good deal. Now they're trying to do the exact same thing with the Switch 2. The difference is everyone already owns a Switch 1. I would bet my life that the Switch 2 will never sell more than the Switch 1 did. So these aren't new games for anybody. Oh yeah, and the new content is barely anything. In fact, in some cases, isn't even attached to the main game. And the games cost more. So you're paying more for a game you already have for content you don't want if you have any brain at all, just so you can have any game to play at all on your new console, because the Switch 2 has no games. I guess the only real selling point is that the game
This one is like probably the only one I would want to get on Switch 2, to be honest.
games run better, which really shouldn't be a selling point. You know, games used to run good on the console they came out for, always.
For real.
Since when was a game supposed to come out in
See, that's what I was saying in the last video, guys. It's like, how can they make a console and then one of their biggest like selling points is like, hey, the game runs better on the next console. Sorry, it runs like crap on the old one. It's like, dude, you created the console. What do you mean it can't run on the console? You created the game and the console. What are you doing? Just put it on PC. Like, can we get Nintendo on PC, please? Like, I'm so tired of it.
and run badly and be like, man, I sure hope they release a new console so the game I bought for my console I already own can actually run. I mean, the optimization has gotten so bad that remakes run worse than their original game. Paper Mario in the Thousand Year Door on the GameCube runs at 60 frames per second, and then on the Switch with its big new remake runs at 30. What is going on? Why are people okay with
I never knew that. Dude, this it just reminds me of like Disney, man. This place became like Disneyland. It's just a freaking clown show. They just buy all these IPs and they just crap on it and they expect you to keep buying it, dude. I just hate everything. I hate everything. I'm like the Hassan Crash Out. I hate liberalism. I hate YouTube. I hate Twitch. I hate my life. I hate... It's like, why Nintendo? Why Marvel? Why?
this? I shouldn't have to buy a new console for an old game for it to run properly. That was expected for all of gaming history. Only now is this considered okay and reasonable. Now, I would never do this. I'm only hearing from a friend, but don't you think it's insane that a video game that is made for a specific console runs on an emulator better than the console it was made for? But no, keep being a sheep. Eat all of the slop.
I am shocked. Somebody in the comments on the last video said they're playing on an emulator right now, the new ZA. And I'm shocked that that's already out there, dog. Like, that's crazy.
Buy the old game for the new console because you have to fill that hole in your soul with something. You have to spend money to distract yourself from your worthless life. Who needs any kind of self-respect when you have Bing Bing Wahoo? I mean, just come on, look at him. He's just a little guy. He's having fun. How could this be evil? And Bing Bing Wahoo Man, you can now buy for $70. Yeah, 2 Wii games, $40 a piece or $70 together. And it's the exact game with no improvements that will run worse than for free on your computer. The greed is absurd. The Super Mario All-Stars collection on the Wii was a budget game, and people considered it a ripoff at the time. Now you pay more for less. But there was more in the Nintendo Direct. Not much more, but there was more. We finally got more news of Metroid Prime 4, and it was the worst possible news. I didn't even know I was capable of being more disappointed, but here we are. In the Prime 4 trailer, which is probably the shortest of the entire Direct, they announced that Prime 4 is...
I remember seeing this in a Direct, and I got really hyped, and it was really let down, man. It is true, man. The Switch 2 is evil, like the title of this video says. It's just not even right, dude. How did we get here? Can somebody make a YouTube video about that? How did we freaking get here? Like, not too long ago, I remember playing Mario Sunshine and having a great time. I remember when Smash, Ultimate Smash came out, I was just having a great time. Smash Brawl, like Melee, like, how did we get here?
Open world, or at the very least has an open world zone with a whole motorcycle and everything. How could you possibly miss the point this badly? To not understand Metroid at all. Breath of the Wild, I think, legitimately killed Nintendo. Subscribe if you want to see a video on that specifically. Breath of the Wild was just too successful, and rather than think, wow, that game was unique and innovative and it sold well because it's high quality, instead they heard everything has to be an open world game now if you want it to sell. Now, if you don't remember, Metroid Prime 4 was announced 8 years ago and had its entire development restarted. God, I hope they didn't have a...
So this is the same amount of time Digimon had. Digimon Time Story Strangers took 8 years, and that game is beautiful. This is also 8 years. This looks like a PlayStation, like a Nintendo 64 game.
Good game, and they restarted because they had to make it open world. I thought the whole point of making Metroid Prime 4 was to satisfy the old Metroid Prime fans, to give them something that they were never going to get otherwise. But no, corporate says you have to appeal to a wider audience. And you know what a wider audience loves? Open worlds. So we have to ruin every game with a tacked on, pointless open world. Now, I'm not the biggest Metroid Prime fan. I like it, but I can't imagine Metroid Prime being your favorite game. You wait 8 years only to find out right before the game is supposed to release that it's been ruined by a boomer in a suit who has never played a video game before and does not understand the art form at all. And don't even say, oh, maybe...
Dude, this is like the problem. That's the real underlying problem. There's too many rich old dudes who are destroying this world. That's just the problem right there. Too many rich... Clip this, clip it, post it. Let's do something about it. let's get them out, bro. We need to save video games. It's just a rich old dude who's fucking up everything.
it'll be fine, maybe it'll be great, it'll be the best open world ever, because it already ruined another game. The open world ruined the new Mario Kart. You cannot play that game. The online mode has been destroyed by a pointless, tacked on open world. An open world nobody even uses, by the way, because it's completely empty except for stupid challenges nobody cares about. No, now if you just want to race on a track, you know, 3 laps around a circle, well designed, made for racing, you can't do that anymore. Instead, you're forced to race on a straight line with nothing interesting, nothing cool, no obstacles, just a straight line. You're driving through traffic and you have to. They make you because people found an exploit so that they only had to race on the tracks. You know, the fun part of the game, and Nintendo patched it out. You want to talk about someone hating their customers? They found out the consumer was having fun in a way they did not intend. Well, we can't have that. The open world, the wider audience, you have to love the open world. But you want to race on the tracks? Well, too bad. We're patching it out. Now in the online mode, the main way to play the game, to just race, you are forced to play on these pointless...
Dude, this is just so disheartening. All these games I was kind of wondering, I was like, man, I haven't bought a Nintendo game in a long time. I wonder why. This is why. Everything has just gone to shit. Like, and second reason, I don't really have... Nintendo requires like a lot of friends. Like that's the, you know, what you think, like, oh, for Mario Party and Mario Kart and stuff, I don't got any friends, so I stick to like World of Warcraft or like solo playing games, like, you know, play Digimon, I guess, right now.
Straight line tracks, and you get no option, none. You will eat the slop whether you like it or not. Honestly, I'm just waiting. Maybe a month, 2 months from now, they're gonna sell a DLC that lets you play online on the tracks. I know exactly how they're gonna sell it too. They're gonna be like, here's the DLC with 10 new tracks, and when you play online, you can select a mode where if you own the DLC, you only race on the DLC tracks. And of course, the DLC won't include any of those straight line intermission tracks, and people will buy it anyway, no matter how blatantly anti-consumer it is. You know, a lot of people blame Nintendo's transformation into EA on Doug Bowser, because Doug Bowser is the president of Nintendo of America, and he was an EA executive for 8 years. So it makes sense. But I think Nintendo's downfall has been going on a lot longer than that. It all began with the death...
I didn't know that they got an EA guy. That would make a lot of sense. But I don't think he runs the whole thing, right? He's just part of the America. So like, this is... I don't know.
Of Iwata. As soon as Iwata, a person who worked on games, programmed games, played games, loved games, died and was replaced by a soulless automaton in a business suit, Nintendo began focusing entirely on profit at the expense of everyone else. Which plenty of people will say, well, it's a business. That's what businesses are supposed to do. But most businesses care about their image. Their image is important. People won't buy things from you if they want you to die. Well, Nintendo doesn't have to care about that because Nintendo is Disney, and no matter what they do, no matter how blatantly evil...
Dude, he said it. He said Disney. I'm telling you, this is the Disney of video games now.
Is Nintendo fans will still defend them because they have nothing else. We live in bad times. There are a lot of people who genuinely have nothing, who have no soul, who have no love, who have no family, and so they attach to their own childhood as the only thing they have left. And those people...
Dude, that is actually a really good point. We were just talking about that in the comments on the last video. Like, I just can't, like, I don't understand these Pokemon shills. Like, why can't they understand these games are not good? Like, what is the attachment? What is the reasoning for it? And that's actually, I guess, really good point right there. These people have no souls. They have nothing. They're broke. They have no families. This is their this is like the last thing that's keeping them sane, maybe. That's actually crazy and a really good point.
Would rather die than see Nintendo as the evil thing that it is. It also doesn't help that the developers just aren't the same people anymore. The people who made the games you love either don't exist, some of which are unfortunately dead, or are so old that their brain is basically goo. Miyamoto, I love him, great guy. He has no idea where he is. You can just look into his eyes and see that nobody is home. If there was, he would have executed someone by now over the Mario movie. The Mario movie, which was the biggest announcement of the Nintendo Direct. You know, Nintendo, a video game company who spent more time talking about a movie than an actual new Mario game, or at least given more time to Metroid Prime 4, or something else that gamers care about, not another soulless cash grab made by someone who does not care about video games at all. I mean, you knew it was over when they picked Illumination to make the Mario movie, a company incapable of making anything with any soul at all, just slop for that wider audience we're always talking about. Could you just imagine if the Spider-Verse animators made the Mario movie, or even the Puss in Boots
Oh, I love the Spider-Verse, man. I love that movie.
people? But no, we get Illumination and Chris Pratt and Seth Rogen. Because, you know, Seth Rogen, he's only in the best stuff. No, Miyamoto's brain has to be goo. Because there's no way you could stand there and watch something you love be routinely humiliated. Mario just is Mickey Mouse now. He has no attachment to anything real. He's not a real...
I actually liked the Mario movie, the first one. I actually kind of liked it. I actually, and one of my favorite scenes in that one is where Luigi jumps in and he's like helping him. You know, it's like, I'm here for you, brother. And kind of, I was like, oh God, that's so beautiful.
character anymore, just a symbol for a corporate entity. I mean, they even have a Disney World now, Nintendo Land. It couldn't be more obvious. I think the only person with any soul or brains left at Nintendo is Sakurai, and it's just because he doesn't care anymore. He's like, okay, I'll make all the Smash games you want, but now you're letting me make my game, and I'm making Kirby Air Ride because that's cool. I don't care how many copies it sold, and you're giving me 2 directs. They're gonna be way longer than everything else, and I'm gonna talk about every little aspect of my game. Incredibly based. I don't even like Kirby Air Ride that much. Honestly, my brother would just bully me in it all the time, but Kirby Air Riders is still the game I'm most excited for from Nintendo because I know for a fact it has a soul. That Sakurai genuinely cares about this game and is only making it because he wants to. And you just know the corporate Nintendo guys are just seething over this. They're like, he only gets to do this because he has to make another Smash game. And I can't wait for that to be open world too. So what do we do about this? Why don't
If they ruin Smash, dude, that's it. We rage. Like, they've already taken Pokemon from us. If they take Super Smash from us, we riot.
know. I would say don't buy the games, but we all know boycotts have never worked and never will. Although, if I think Nintendo stays in this direction, the games will keep getting worse and people will just naturally stop buying them. Not because of any boycott or any sort of evil, but just people tend to buy things that they want, and people aren't gonna want things that just suck this much, that are this expensive and this lame. I think the lockdowns gave Nintendo a stimulus, that the Switch sold more consoles and more games than it should have. Well, they're not gonna get that lucky break again, and most of the normies that bought the Switch 1 don't care about a Switch 2. They're like, I already own a Switch, why would I need another one? So all we can hope for is that Nintendo will hit another economic dark age, which has happened many times, and they'll have to innovate to then escape that hole. If you care about the whole patent thing, you could also always do the classic of letting your senator know.
It's just sad though that they have to do that though. Like they just can't make money and good games. Like they only will start making good games when they're running out of money. Nintendo almost went out of business, I think, what, like 10 years ago or something like that. They're like really hurting. Like, why don't we get a good Pikmin game again? I like Pikmin. That's a good franchise. Where's the Smash Brothers? A good one of those. Like, there's so many good brands or IPs they have for this brand. It's just crazy that they keep fumbling, man. I really want Nintendo to do well.
or whatever political figure is important to you and tell them that this is a topic you care about and that this shouldn't be legal, that it's absurd to patent a video game mechanic. This isn't an invention. But I already know most of you aren't going to do that, which is fine. I'm not doing it either. I'm just as lazy as you guys. But we always have the third option, which is just whine on the internet and hope it gets better, which isn't as pointless as it sounds, because if you make it socially unacceptable to buy Nintendo games and just make Nintendo fans sound like losers, people won't want to be associated with Nintendo anymore, especially with how widespread the internet is now. That a parent will be like, hey, do you want the new Switch? And then the kid will be like, no, I heard that sucks. I don't like Nintendo. Or the other way around. The kid will be like, hey, can I get a Switch? And the parent's like, no, I hear they're really bad. But maybe I'm just coping, pretending like what I'm doing has any effect at all, when it probably doesn't. Oh well. Anyway, subscribe for more.
So that's the video, guys. Our Frogman is right, dude. It's like, we really need people to stop buying this slop. We really do. And I have not bought the Pokemon game. I have not bought the Switch. I might buy a Switch 2, like for Gen 10. Like that's the only Nintendo game that I want to get is Pokemon Gen 10. And like a lot of people in the comments in the previous videos have said, if Gen 10 sucks, dude, we're done with Pokemon. So it's their last chance, at least for me as well. And the only other game I'd probably like go get a Switch for is if they did come out with a Smash, like if a new Smash came out. But those are the only two games I look forward to that I must have a Switch for. And to be honest, I think the Switch is a really shitty console. I think it's just a money grab, overpriced, underpowered, really shouldn't exist. So it is unfortunate that I almost said Digimon, that Disney is like influencing Nintendo, and Nintendo is like the new Disney. You know, this whole Pokemon thing is just so unfortunate that everything is just seems like it's spiraling out of control, dude. And honestly, like, this is one of the last few things that we have in this world. And I don't want to be too like dramatic here, but the world is getting like pretty crappy every day. It's getting worse and worse. And Nintendo is something that we have left, and it's slowly going away. All gaming is what we have left, and they're slowly taking it away. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But make sure you guys like and subscribe for more reactions, more discussions, more original content. And once we start hitting some milestones here, we're gonna start doing some giveaways. Hopefully the channel could afford it. And the dream is to do a PC one day, like a really nice gaming PC to one of you guys. But that's gonna be in the near, like in the real future, not the near future, like the little future. But the near future, hopefully we can do some video games that come out for like these new consoles, and maybe some Steam cards, stuff like that. But have a great night, guys. I'll see you. Man, this makes me so sad. I'll just see you for the next one.